Hey, this is Gavin Palmer with Hero Looking for Group. Watch the Wokeism is about transcending the constraints of the physical world, and at the same time, I am experiencing diversity, equity, and inclusion within an organization that is the best competence hierarchy I have ever experienced. Of years as a software engineer trying to find the best competence hierarchy I could ever experience, and they were talking about pronouns, gender pronouns, and uh, neurodiversity. So let's listen to Paul, see what he has to say as a conclusion about wokeism.
But I don't think this finally lasts. And unfortunately, these things tend to die when enough people have blood on their hands that they shed in the name of righteousness. And then they begin to realize that they're not bringing they haven't brought down heaven, they've brought up hell.
So that's a pretty powerful statement. And if you study history, which is the story written by the successful, the winners, um, if you look at history, you may see that pattern. And what the thing that I try to do is to transform, and that's kind of the thing I believe that the creator does is the creator is able to transform anything into the good. And the question would be, well, how do you transform this into the good? How do you transform gender pronouns into the good? How do you transform diversity, equity, and inclusion into the good? And for me, I it's kind of an admitting that I have I might be on the spectrum, and my ability to communicate is um, can be difficult because I will just say what's on my mind and speak honestly. And the culture doesn't necessarily appreciate that because there are cultural norms. And so people who are on the spectrum of for Asperger's or autism, they may say and do things that are not socially acceptable. And so this quest for diversity, equity, and inclusion might be an opening for people on the spectrum who um, some people would say are very intelligent and even sometimes genius level intelligence. Uh, that would allow those people to become more accepted by society. These are the people who are able to identify possible answers to the problems. And so by embracing this diversity, equity, and inclusion narrative and transforming it, we can begin to, you have the bell curve, we can begin to say who's at the edges, who's at the tails, and we can begin to encourage those people at the tails to be more um, acceptable, and we can become more accepting. And not just the tail where there's the people who are um, low functioning, which has been the focus. That was my experience going through public education, is that there was some kind of focus on special needs on on the one side of the um, functioning bell curve, but also there could be some balanced attention toward the people who are high functioning. Um, and so what happens is that the majority of people are um, they're kind of like an NPC, right? They are not as good at thinking, and they aren't able to handle the truth. And so through this effort to have more diversity, equity, and inclusion, we could start including the high functioning people who have, the highest IQs, the best ability to solve problems and troubleshoot. We can begin inviting them into the sense-making apparatus, the sense-making organ, inviting them into leadership. So you can really transform the narrative, right? Because there's truth. I think Jordan Peterson would say, give the devil the due, give the devil his due. There's truth there. And part of it, in my experience of being discriminated against, has to do with my neurodiversity, my neurology, my brain. I have a unique brain. And so that can be, that's a way to rescue the narrative. And then for gender pronouns, I was thinking, what if, I'm talking about practicing being with the Creator and allowing the Holy Spirit to possess me. And I'm interested in the Father, and this is the capital F Father and the capital C Creator. These are aspects of the One that I want to invite into me. And so as a gender pronoun, I am no longer a he, a him, and his. I am a they, them, their. And so we could even, we can take that narrative as well. So if you are trying to live with the Creator, perhaps it is true that by identifying as a he, him, his, or a she, her, hers, that you are participating in a language construct that is not conducive for your being with the Creator and the Mother or the Father, the One in these aspects, the Holy Spirit. So sometimes people are very quick to resist something new, a new narrative. And what I believe, is that everyone in their story can be transformed such that their story becomes part of the good. Every narrative can be transformed. Everything can be transformed by the Creator. So I appreciate your attention, and let me know what you think about calling me they, them, their, and trying to accept neurodiverse people onto the stage in a debate, or facilitating a debate in a way which is conducive for people with my neurodiversity, such that one person gets to record a video in the comfort of their closet, and then other people get to respond to that video in the comfort of their closet, because me and my neurodiversity wouldn't function as well out on the stage in a live event with a brain that is going down many different paths, just hopping around with everything that everyone is saying and not being certain of what should be said, and who is trying to connect with the Creator and be patient and allowing for there to be silence to process the information, so that there could be dreams and there can be feedback, such that I can learn from my wife and my children and my dreams and the Creator and nature, such that I can bring it together into a response video that is meaningful and useful, that exemplifies the right way of being. So I appreciate your attention. I hope you enjoyed it.